I woke up to the smell of coffee before my alarm even rang. "Morning, sleepyhead," Emily called from the kitchen. "Morning," I said, stretching. "Smells amazing." "Only the best for my fiancée," she teased. I grinned and went to pour my own cup. Ryan stumbled in, hair sticking up like he'd wrestled a tornado. "Hey Jack," he mumbled, rubbing his eyes. "Coffee yet?" "Just for me and Emily," I said, handing him a mug. "Thought you'd want tea?" "Tea's fine," he muttered, but I caught the smirk. Classic Ryan. Always charming, even when half asleep. Emily nudged me. "Big day today, remember? Wedding planning meeting with the caterer." I smiled. "I know. Can't believe it's only 2 months away." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "You excited, Jack?" "Nervous." "Nervous? Not really. Excited? Yeah. I mean, Emily's amazing. I'm lucky." I sipped coffee and felt that warm, stupid happiness. Emily leaned on my shoulder. "You always know the right thing to say." I laughed. "I do my best." "You think Ryan's going to cause trouble today?" Ryan shrugged. "Maybe. Depends if someone insults my charm." I shook my head, smiling. My brother could be reckless sometimes, but he had a good heart. Mostly. Later we drove to the caterer's. Emily held my hand the entire way. I kept stealing glances at her, memorizing the curve of her smile. Ryan chatted about work, about some wild project at the office. "You guys ever think about moving to a bigger place?" Ryan asked suddenly. Emily frowned. "Not now. We just bought furniture." "Yeah, but what if we need space? A bigger house, more freedom?" His tone was casual, but I noticed the glint in his eyes. "Probably nothing." At the caterer's, Emily took charge like always. "I want the flowers pastel, Jack. And the cake should have real strawberries." I nodded, letting her ideas flow. "Perfect. I trust you." Ryan, meanwhile, kept cracking jokes with the staff. "I promise I won't eat all the samples," he said, grinning. I laughed, but something inside me felt off. Tiny, like a whisper I couldn't hear. Back in the car, Emily rested her head on my shoulder. "You know, I feel like we're a real family now. You, me, Ryan, it's perfect." I smiled, kissing her hair. "Yeah, perfect." Ryan tapped the dashboard. "So, Jack, you're gonna let Emily plan everything? Don't be a pushover, man." I laughed. "She's the bride. I follow orders willingly." Emily elbowed me playfully. "See? He's perfect." I glanced at Ryan. "You'll be best man, remember? No surprises at the rehearsal, okay?" Ryan grinned. "No promises." Driving home, I watched the trees blur past and felt a quiet contentment. Everything seemed right. Emily's hand in mine, Ryan laughing at some dumb joke. I was home. My life was stable, predictable, happy. And yet, a little voice at the back of my mind whispered something I ignored. "Nothing's ever perfect." "Not really." I shook it off. Today I had love, laughter, and family. What else could a man want? "Jack, did you see my phone?" Emily asked, patting her purse. "Oh, no. Why?" I glanced up from my laptop. "I think I left it in the living room," she said. Her voice sounded nervous, but I dismissed it. She always misplaced things. "Did you check the kitchen?" I asked. "Yeah, it's not there." "Strange." She frowned. Ryan walked in, grinning. "Looking for something, sis?" Emily shook her head. "Just my phone." Ryan leaned against the counter. "Maybe it grew legs and ran off. Happens all the time." I chuckled, though something tugged at the back of my mind. Ryan's smirk felt off. Later, Emily and I went grocery shopping. She kept checking her phone, giggling quietly at a text. "What's so funny?" I asked. "Nothing," she said, slipping her phone into her bag. "Just a meme." Ryan's voice buzzed in my head. Back home, I caught Ryan texting under the table. "You texting Emily again?" I asked casually. He shrugged. "Just some work stuff." His eyes darted away. I frowned. "Work stuff? At 4 in the afternoon?" "Yeah, I got a client panicking," he said, voice too sharp. Emily appeared behind him. "Hey, what are you two whispering about?" "Nothing," I said. "Just curious about Ryan's work drama." Ryan smirked. "Drama-free, Jack. Don't worry." I nodded, but unease lingered. I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was being paranoid. The next day, Emily called me from the office. "Jack, can you pick up Ryan? He says he's feeling sick." I frowned. "Sick? What's going on?" "He just wants to go home early." "You mind?" "Of course not." "I'll leave work," I said, worry curling in my chest. When I arrived, Ryan was standing outside, grinning at me. "Hey, big bro, feeling generous today?" "Just worried," I said. You okay? Perfectly fine, he said. But when he turned, I saw the phone tucked into his jacket, screen facing down. My gut tightened. I dropped him off at home. Emily greeted him at the door with a smile that felt practiced. Thanks for bringing him, she said. Sure, I replied, watching her too closely. Everything okay? Yeah, she said, brushing past me. Just tired. Tired, huh? I forced myself not to linger on the thought. Maybe it was nothing. That evening I cooked dinner. Ryan and Emily were unusually quiet, sharing glances I couldn't read. Dinner smells amazing, Emily said finally, sliding into her chair. Thanks, I said, trying to sound cheerful. How was work? Good, she said, avoiding my gaze. Ryan hummed. Same old. Crazy clients. I watched them, noticing subtle touches, elbows brushing, lingering smiles. Maybe I was imagining it, but the pit in my stomach refused to go away. Later I found myself alone in the living room, thinking. Was I paranoid? Or was something really happening? I wanted to trust them. I needed to trust them. A knock at the door startled me. It was Mrs. Thompson, our neighbor. Hi, Jack. Just wanted to drop off some cookies. Emily's favorite, she said cheerfully. Thanks, Mrs. Thompson, I said, forcing a smile. As she left, I glanced back at Emily and Ryan laughing together in the kitchen. Something didn't sit right. My stomach twisted. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe Emily was just stressed. Maybe Ryan was being playful. But the unease settled in my chest like a weight. I went to bed that night, staring at the ceiling, replaying small moments, the texts, the whispered laughs, the secretive glances. Nothing's perfect, I thought. I hated that I felt it. I wanted my family to be as it always was, warm, safe, happy. But the cracks were there, subtle, almost invisible. I drifted off reluctantly, knowing that tomorrow I'd wake up and the feeling would still be there. And Ryan, he smiled too easily. Too confidently. Like he was hiding something I wasn't supposed to see. I got home earlier than expected, thinking I'd surprise Emily. Hey, I'm back. I called as I opened the front door. Silence. Strange. I set my bag down and walked toward the living room. My heart stopped. Emily and Ryan. On the couch. Too close. Hands everywhere. Laughing in a way they'd never laugh with me. I froze. What is this? My voice cracked. Emily jerked back, eyes wide. Jack. We. Save it, I said, stepping closer. My voice shook, but I tried to sound calm. I can't believe you, Ryan. Both of you. Ryan stood quickly, guilt flashing for a second before his usual smirk returned. Jack, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? I laughed bitterly. I just walked in on my fiancé and my brother. How could it not look like betrayal? Emily's face crumpled. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You didn't mean? I shook my head. You didn't mean? I trusted you. I thought we were perfect. Ryan's jaw tightened. Jack, it happened once. A mistake. You have to understand. A mistake. I shouted. One mistake. One mistake destroys everything. You're my brother, Ryan. How could you do this? Emily stepped forward. Jack, please. I love you. It's complicated. Complicated? I echoed, voice breaking. Complicated as losing your keys. Complicated as traffic. This, I gestured at them, is betrayal. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. Jack, calm down. We didn't plan for you to find out. It just happened. Happened? My fists clenched. You've been hiding it. Sneaking around. Smiling at me every day while laughing behind my back. That's what happened. That's your happened? Emily's tears fell freely now. Jack, I didn't mean to hurt you. I swear. Things got confusing. Confusing? I laughed hollowly, pacing the floor. I trusted you, Emily. Every word you said, every smile, every promise, it was all lies. Ryan stepped closer. Jack, look. I love you too, man. I didn't want this. But feelings, they happen. I didn't plan it. Feelings? I shouted. Feelings don't give you permission to destroy your family. Feelings don't excuse stealing your brother's life, Emily. Emily sobbed, covering her face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I felt numb. My chest ached. My stomach twisted. Every memory, every laugh, every happy moment I thought we shared, they were tainted now. Jack, please, Ryan tried again. No. I said, cutting him off. Don't. Just, don't. My voice trembled. I don't even know who you two are anymore. Emily stepped closer, reaching for my hand. Jack, I love you. I made a mistake. Please don't leave me like this. I pulled back sharply. Don't touch me. Silence fell. Their guilt was palpable. Ryan looked ashamed, Emily devastated. And me? I felt like I had been punched in the gut over and over. Jack, Emily whispered. I need to get out of here. My voice was barely audible. My hands shook. I can't even look at you right now. Ryan spoke, voice low. Jack, don't go. Let's talk. We can fix this. I don't want to talk. My legs moved on their own, carrying me to the door. I don't want to hear any explanations, any apologies. I don't care about fixes. I trusted you. You broke that. That's it. That's everything. Emily called after me. Jack, please, I swear I'll change. I didn't turn around. I just opened the door, stepped outside, and walked. The cold evening air hit me, but I barely noticed. All I felt was rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. I thought about everything we had, our apartment, our plans, our future. All of it crumbled in seconds. And Ryan, my brother. Someone I trusted above all others. Someone I loved. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hit something. I wanted to beg them to explain, but I knew no explanation could ever make this right. As I walked down the street, my mind raced. How could I have been so blind? How could I trust them so completely? I questioned myself, my judgment, my own worth. Every laugh I remembered, every touch, every private joke, they were lies. And I had been a fool. A complete fool. By the time I reached the park bench a few blocks away, my body felt heavy, my heart heavier. I sat down, staring at the ground. The city lights blurred. I couldn't process. I couldn't think. I realized I didn't want to cry. Not yet. Not in front of them. I didn't even want to move. I just wanted to disappear. I sat there numb. My family had betrayed me in the worst way possible. And I didn't know if I could ever forgive them. I whispered to myself, barely audible, I need to get out of this. I can't stay here. Not now. Not like this. And I walked away, leaving Emily and Ryan behind, my mind spinning, my heart shattered, and my soul burning with a mix of rage and numbness. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the wedding invitations. I can't send these, I muttered to myself. Megan, my coworker and friend, leaned against the counter. Jack, maybe you should take a break. Calm down before making any decisions. I can't calm down, Megan. Emily and Ryan, they destroyed everything. My hands shook as I shoved the invitations into a drawer. You don't have to handle this alone, she said softly. I don't want help. I just need to think. I slammed my fist on the table. I can't even look at my own apartment without seeing them. Megan sighed. Maybe move for a while? Give yourself space. Move? I laughed bitterly. Like I can just pack up and leave? I have bills, rent, responsibilities. I can't run from this. Jack, it's not running. It's surviving. I shook my head, gripping my mug. Surviving doesn't feel like surviving. Feels like being punched every morning when I wake up. Every reminder, every laugh, every memory, it's a knife. Megan paused. Have you talked to anyone else? Family, maybe? No. My family? Ryan betrayed me. My parents live out of state. And Emily, my voice cracked. I can't even say her name without tasting bile. I get it, she said. But you can't stay trapped here. I ran a hand through my hair. I thought life would keep going. I thought I could just fix things. But there's nothing to fix. They don't deserve me. I don't even know if I deserve them anymore. You deserve better, Megan said firmly. I scoffed. Better? What's better? Feeling numb every second? Seeing them happy while I can't even look at myself in the mirror? Megan frowned. Jack, you're stronger than you think. You'll get through this. I stared out the window, watching cars pass. I have to. But I don't know how. I can't let them win. I can't let them think I'm broken. Then don't, she said. Do something for yourself. Take control where you can. Her words sank in. I thought about my apartment, my finances, my life. Control, I whispered. Ideas started forming, small sparks in the darkness. Maybe I could turn this around. Maybe I could make them feel the consequences without stooping to their level. Megan tilted her head. What are you thinking? I shrugged, pretending. Nothing. Just thinking. Later I walked to the grocery store. Everywhere I looked, couples laughed, families joked, and I felt like I didn't belong. Life moves on, I muttered under my breath. But why does it feel like I'm standing still? I bumped into Tom, a neighbor I knew casually. Hey Jack, you okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, just busy. Tom nodded. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I wanted to tell him everything, but I couldn't. Instead, I muttered, thanks, and walked away. My pride wouldn't let me lean on anyone. Not yet. At home, I stared at my bedroom, the place I once shared with Emily. Empty, I whispered. Everything's empty. Ryan's laugh echoed in my mind. Fool, I muttered. How could I have been so blind? I sat on the edge of my bed trying to focus on bills, work, anything. But each number, each task reminded me how fragile everything had become. Financially, emotionally, mentally, I was unraveling. Yet even in this mess, a part of me stirred. A quiet, cold part that whispered, not everything is lost. They underestimated you. They think you're weak. They think you'll break. I clenched my fist. They're wrong, I said aloud. I'm not broken. Not yet. Megan called that evening. Jack, you okay? I'm surviving, I said. For now. But I'm planning. Just a little. Nothing big. Planning? She asked cautiously. I smiled faintly, a spark in my chest. Yeah. They think they have the upper hand. I'm not done. Not even close. After the call, I stared at the dark ceiling. They made me hurt. But I'll make myself stronger. I'll make them regret everything. And for the first time since that night, I felt purpose. I sat at my laptop, coffee cooling beside me. Megan, I need your help, I said, though she wasn't there in person. Sure, Jack. What now? Her voice came through the speaker. I want to find out everything about Emily and Ryan. Financial stuff. Rent, debts, anything. Wow, revenge research. Bold, she said, half laughing. Not revenge. Information. I need control. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Do you know any landlords or agents? Megan hesitated. There's Tom, the landlord on Elm Street. Fair guy, honest. Maybe he'd talk if you ask nicely. I'll call him. I dialed the number, trying to keep my voice steady. Hi, Tom. Jack Mercer. Do you have a moment? Jack. Sure, what's up? His tone was friendly. I was wondering, could you tell me about the tenants at 42 Elm? Emily Sanders and Ryan Mercer. Tom chuckled. Curious, huh? I can give you general info. Rent's late a couple times, small repairs ignored. Nothing crazy, but they're struggling. Struggling how? I asked, heart tightening. Financially. You know, late fees, calls from the office trying to fix plumbing themselves. They've got bills piling up. I leaned back, a small, dangerous smile forming. Thanks, Tom. That's very helpful. Later I spoke to Megan again. Megan. I'm thinking about buying the house. You're kidding. No. If I own it, I have power. Not to hurt them directly, just to watch. Let karma do its job. You're serious? I've never been more serious. I can't let them think I'm broken. I need leverage. Megan paused. Jack, this is risky. I know, but I've thought it through. I can handle it. I have to. That evening I met Tom in person. You're sure they're behind on rent? I asked as we walked the property. Yep. Nothing illegal, just late payments and small complaints. They're struggling like I said. Perfect. I ran my hand over the fence. How much to buy the property? Tom's eyes widened. You want to buy it? Honestly, Jack, that's bold. I'd have to check with the owner. I don't care. Make the call. I'll take it. He laughed. All right. I'll see what I can do. Walking home, my mind raced. This is risky. But I need control. I can't trust them to stay honest or respectful. This puts me ahead. Megan called again. Jack, are you sure about this? It's aggressive. I'm sure, I said. It's not aggression. It's strategy. Emily and Ryan need to realize consequences exist. They can't just get away with betrayal. You sound cold. I am cold, but calculated. I'm not going to lash out in anger. I'll let life do the work while I stay smart. Her voice softened. Be careful, Jack. Don't let this consume you. I won't, I said. I just need to reclaim my life. And this is the first step. After the call, I sat in the dark, imagining their faces when they realized the house they struggled to rent was now mine. A mix of fear, frustration, maybe guilt. It would sting. But another thought crept in. Am I really doing the right thing? Or am I just as bad as they are? I shook my head. No. This isn't revenge. It's justice. I'm reclaiming what's mine. They made their choices. I'm making mine. I spent the next day filling out paperwork, talking to lawyers, signing documents. Every signature made my stomach tight, a mix of thrill and apprehension. "Jack, are you sure?" the lawyer asked, glancing at me. "Yes, I want it. Everything else, they took already. This is the one thing I can control." By the time I left the office, the ownership papers were in my hands. The house was mine. A cold, small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Walking to my car, I imagined Emily and Ryan receiving their next rent notice. I smiled faintly. Not yet. I knew I could hit them directly, humiliate them, but I didn't want to. I wanted them to feel the consequences naturally, to understand what it meant to take someone for granted. Megan texted, "Are you okay?" I typed back, "Better. Control feels good. Power feels clean." Sitting in my car, I looked at the papers again. This is the first real step. The plan is set. They think they've won. They're wrong. And for the first time since that night, I felt calm, focused, like the storm was settling and I was finally steering the ship. I whispered to myself, let's see how they handle reality, now that I'm in control. I leaned against the fence, watching the house I now owned. Emily and Ryan were out front, trying to fix a leaky pipe. Water sprayed everywhere, soaking Ryan's shirt. "Ryan, careful," Emily shouted, her voice tinged with frustration. "I'm being careful," he snapped, though his tone betrayed panic. "You're not being careful. You're making it worse," she yelled, hands on her hips. I smirked, hiding behind the fence. "Perfect," Ryan groaned. "Emily, hand me the wrench." "Which one? The big one? The small one?" "The big one. Now." "I can't reach it," she shouted. I sipped my coffee, watching them scramble. I should have felt satisfaction, but a pang of guilt tugged at me. They deserve this, but why do I feel lonely? Ryan cursed under his breath. "This is useless. Why didn't we just call a plumber?" "Because you were too proud," Emily shot back. I chuckled softly. Pride. Funny how it bites you when you least expect it. Later, Megan called. "Jack, you okay? You've been quiet today." "I'm fine," I said, though I wasn't. "Just observing." Observing? Watching. Learning. Seeing the consequences. She didn't press further. She knew better. Inside, Emily and Ryan argued over bills. I could hear snippets through the open window. "I told you we can't afford the internet, Ryan," Emily snapped. "Then why did you order takeout 3 times this week?" Ryan shot back. "Because I needed something edible, Ryan. You work late, I work late, we eat like humans." I leaned closer to the window. They can't even manage the basics. And yet, they once thought they could hide betrayal from me. Ryan slammed a drawer. "This is ridiculous. Why do I even bother?" Emily's voice cracked. "Because I trusted you, Ryan. I trusted you to be smart, to care. But no. Everything's a disaster." A part of me winced. I wanted to feel joy, but there was sadness too. The people I loved, or thought I loved, were falling apart. I watched Ryan try to patch the pipe again. Water sprayed across the yard, hitting Emily. She screamed, then laughed bitterly. "This is your fault," she yelled. "No. This is your fault," he shouted back. I shook my head, smiling faintly. They made this bed. Let them lie in it. I glanced at the rent notice I had sent last week. $2,300. Paid late. Fees added. I had done nothing. They struggled, helpless. And I had the power to decide how far to push. But another thought crept in. Do I want them to suffer completely? Or just enough to learn? I saw a neighbor, Laura, watching from across the street. She waved. I nodded. "Crazy couple, huh?" she called over. "Yeah," I said, trying to sound casual. "Just learning the hard way." Emily yelled again as the pipe burst. Ryan cursed loudly. Water ran into the yard, flooding the flower bed. I swallowed a laugh. This is what I wanted. Then Emily tripped, landing in the mud. Ryan reached for her. "Emily, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Just wet and muddy and annoyed." I felt a flicker of compassion. They're human. They're suffering. But maybe I'm too much of a witness. I stepped back, sipping coffee. "Focus, Jack. This isn't about pity. It's about justice. Control." Later, they sat on the porch, drenched and tired. Silence hung between them, heavier than any argument. "You know," Ryan muttered, voice quiet, "we can't keep living like this. It's exhausting." Emily nodded. "I know. We should have been smarter." "I shouldn't have lied, Ryan. You shouldn't have, well, you know." His tone was softer, regretful. I stayed hidden, listening. Regret. Finally. Maybe they're learning. Maybe it'll stick. I felt a pang of loneliness again. I had removed them from my life, But I still craved connection, even if it came wrapped in their failure. Megan called later. Jack, you're sounding different. Harder maybe? Maybe, I admitted. Or maybe I'm just steady. Watching them scramble, seeing them realize reality, it's enlightening. Just don't lose yourself, she said firmly. I won't, I said, finishing my coffee. I can feel it. I'm growing stronger, smarter. And they'll see it too in time. By evening the yard was a mess. Tools scattered, mud everywhere, water pooled in corners. Emily and Ryan sat exhausted, heads bowed. I stared from a distance, feeling a strange mix of triumph and grief. They're suffering, but I'm learning too, about patience, restraint, and power. I whispered to myself, this is only the beginning. They'll realize they can't take me for granted again. And as I walked back to my car, I felt something solid settle in my chest. Control, purpose, satisfaction. But also, loneliness. A reminder that revenge isn't joy. It's balance. And tonight I held the scale. My phone buzzed late in the afternoon. Emily's name flashed on the screen. I froze. Why now? I muttered, ignoring it at first. It buzzed again. I picked up, voice tight. What do you want? Jack, please. I need your help. Emily's voice trembled. I stared at the ceiling. Help? After everything? I know I hurt you. I know I betrayed you. I can't fix the past, but, please. Ryan and I, we're desperate. I scoffed. Desperate? You two should have thought about that before betraying me. I know, Jack. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I swear. Please. Just help us this once. I gripped the phone. Part of me wanted to throw it across the room. Another part, something cold and calculating, made me pause. Do I help them? Or watch them crash completely? Where are you? I asked finally, voice low. Ryan's apartment. We can't pay rent and I don't know what to do. I leaned back in my chair. Of course. The consequences I set in motion are real. Do I extend a hand or let them learn fully? Before I could answer, Ryan's voice came on the speaker. Jack, please. Don't leave us. We didn't plan any of this. We screwed up, yes, but you can't let us fall like this. I'm begging. Ryan, I said, tone icy, you begged before and I ignored it. Now it's the same, just more dramatic? No. Jack, this is real. Emily's terrified. I'm terrified. We're losing everything. I exhaled, running a hand through my hair. You made your choices. I didn't. Every bit of this, you earned. And yet, hearing you panic, it's complicated. Emily's friend Laura suddenly appeared in the background. Jack, please. Just help us. You're the only one who can. I froze. Now there's an accomplice? Or just another voice pleading for mercy? Laura, stay out of this. This is between me and them, I said, voice shaking slightly. She frowned. You think we're joking? You think we don't realize what you've done? I didn't do anything, I snapped. You two are here because of your mistakes. Let me be clear about that. Emily sobbed. Jack, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. I can't stand seeing Ryan suffer. I can't stand seeing us suffer. You're all I've got to turn to right now. I closed my eyes. Part of me wanted to slam the phone down. Another part, a whisper, you can still decide. You can still control this. Jack, please, Ryan begged again. Just one chance. Don't let us hit rock bottom. I swear we'll change. I laughed bitterly. Chains? After everything? You've been lying, sneaking, betraying. And now you expect me to bail you out. Emily's voice cracked. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Just help. You can help without forgiving us. I thought of the house, of the rent notices, of the mud-soaked flower beds. My victory was tangible. Their struggles were visible. I could hit them harder or I could be merciful. What if I did help? I asked slowly. Do you understand what it would mean? You'd owe me. Every day, every breath, you'd owe me for the trust you destroyed. Emily swallowed. Yes, we'd do whatever you ask. Please, Jack. Just don't let us fail. Ryan hesitated, then added, we'll be careful. No more lies. No more secrets. Just help us stand again. I stared at the wall, thinking. Part of me wanted to scream, part wanted to cry, part wanted to walk away and never look back. But something colder, sharper, edged into my thoughts. Control. Power. Justice. Fine, I said at last. I'll help. But on my terms. You do exactly as I say. No complaints, no lies, no excuses. Understand? Yes, yes. Emily said immediately, relief flooding her voice. Jack, Thank you, Ryan whispered. I hung up, heart hammering. This isn't forgiveness. It's control. They'll learn consequences. And I'll make sure of it. I exhaled slowly, staring out the window. Let them think they've been saved. Let them think mercy exists. Meanwhile, I hold the real power. And this is only the beginning. I watched from my office window as Ryan stormed out of the building, slamming the door behind him. Jack, can you believe this? Megan asked, leaning against the doorframe. I can, I said, sipping my coffee. He got fired. Again. You did this? She asked, eyebrows raised. I shrugged. I didn't do anything directly. Just made sure the consequences landed where they belonged. Across town, Emily called, voice shaking. Jack, they're evicting us. I don't know what to do. I closed my eyes. I know. That's why I bought the house. You can't ignore your responsibilities forever. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Save it, I said softly. You had your chances. Actions have consequences. She sniffled. I know. I wish I could fix everything. Some things can't be fixed, I replied. But you can start by learning. Start small. Stand on your own. Later I drove past the house. I saw Ryan struggling to carry a broken appliance inside. Emily tripped over a cord, nearly falling again. I felt the same pang of satisfaction I had before, mixed with guilt. Megan called again. Jack, you okay seeing them like that? I am, I said. Mostly. But it's complicated. They're suffering, yes. But I also feel sad for what we had. Not just for me, but for who they used to be. Sounds like growth, she said. Maybe, I admitted. I realized revenge isn't about enjoying pain. It's about taking control of my life, ensuring fairness, and learning from the heartbreak. Ryan called in the evening, voice quieter than usual. I screwed up. I see that now. I didn't mean to hurt you like this. You didn't mean to hurt me, Ryan. But you did. And you can't undo it. I know. His voice cracked. I never thought I'd lose everything. You lost trust, I said calmly. And trust is harder to rebuild than any job or apartment. Emily texted shortly after. I'm sorry. I truly am. I'm trying to fix things. I stared at my phone. Trying isn't enough, I thought. But I didn't respond. Some lessons can't be taught with words. They need time and consequences. I spent the next few days observing them. Ryan tried applying for jobs, but his reputation preceded him. Doors closed. Emily's friends slowly pulled away as word spread about their financial mess and betrayal. Jack, do you feel guilty? Megan asked one afternoon. I paused. Sometimes. Seeing them fail, it's not exactly joy. It's complex. I feel relief, yes. But also a strange loneliness. They were my world once. You've grown, she said. Maybe. I've realized that regaining control of my life is the true victory. Not making them suffer endlessly. The neighbors talked sometimes, whispering about Ryan and Emily's situation. I overheard snippets. Can you believe they're behind on rent? Or, I heard Emily lost her promotion. I let it happen. Not because I wanted humiliation, but because life naturally balanced itself. I was no longer the victim. I had reclaimed my power. One evening, Emily knocked on my door. Tentatively. Nervously. I just wanted to say, I understand. I get it. I'll take responsibility for everything now. You've had weeks to act, I said. Actions speak louder than apologies. I know. I wanted you to know I'm trying. I nodded slowly. Good. Keep trying. But don't expect me to fix your mistakes. That's not my job anymore. She smiled faintly, a shadow of the woman I once loved. I understand. Ryan appeared behind her. Ryan, I said, holding up a hand. You'll learn. Just like Emily. Don't waste words on me. Put them into action. Their shoulders slumped. They didn't argue. They didn't beg. They understood. I closed the door and exhaled, feeling a weight lift from my chest. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just let life handle its course. Megan called later. So, they're facing reality. How does it feel? Different, I admitted. It's not satisfaction. It's completion. Closure. I've learned that controlling my own life, not theirs, is what matters. Sounds like peace, she said. Maybe, I said. Maybe it's the first peace I've had in months. I can breathe again, think again, and live again on my terms. I drove home that night, streetlights casting shadows over the quiet city. I thought about the months past, Emily and Ryan's betrayal, the heartbreak, the plotting, the quiet observation of their struggles. And I realized something important. Revenge had its place, but it was never about cruelty. It was about reclaiming agency. About learning, growing, and finally standing tall again. The house I owned glimmered in the distance. The symbol of control, yes, but also of lessons learned and a future reclaimed. I whispered to myself as I turned the key in my front door, I'm done being the victim. The rest is theirs to face. And for the first time in a long time, I felt the calm steadiness of someone who had survived, learned, and grown stronger, not just through revenge but through reclaiming himself. The doorbell rang, sharp and insistent. I opened it to see Emily and Ryan standing there, soaked from a sudden rainstorm. Jack, please, Emily began, voice trembling. We need to talk. Just 5 minutes. I studied them silently. Ryan shifted uneasily, avoiding eye contact. Jack, I know I've messed up. We both have. But we want to make it right. Right? I said, stepping aside. Come in. But don't expect comfort. They entered, shaking off the rain. Emily's eyes pleaded, Ryan's jaw was tight, defensive. I never meant for things to get this bad, Emily said, voice quivering. I lost control. I was stupid, selfish. Selfish, I repeated, voice calm. Yes, you were. And Ryan? You were reckless. Both of you made choices that destroyed trust, happiness, everything. Ryan swallowed. Jeff, I know. I can't undo it. But we're trying. Please, let us fix it. I sat down slowly, folding my hands. Fix it? Fix what exactly? The house. The rent notices? Your jobs? Your dignity? Emily shook her head. No. I mean us. I want you to know we're sorry. We've learned. Please, don't shut us out completely. I leaned back, staring at them. I'm not the same man who trusted blindly. I'm not the man who let betrayal blind me. I'm stronger now. Emily, Ryan, you want forgiveness or you want control? Those are two very different things. Ryan's eyes flickered. Control? No. We just want a chance to make amends. Amends? I chuckled softly. Do you understand the meaning? It's not words, it's action. And your actions have consequences. You felt them. Right? Emily's lip trembled. Yes, we know. I leaned forward. Then understand this. I'm not here to grant mercy. I'm here to tell you, the power has shifted. You don't lead anymore. I do. I decide what happens next. You listen. You follow. Or, you face the natural results of your mistakes. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. Jack, we didn't know it would come to this. We were reckless, yes, but... Reckless, I repeated, cutting him off. You think that excuses betrayal? You think that excuses lying, sneaking, disrespect? No, Emily whispered. We know it doesn't. Good, I said. Because understanding isn't enough. You need discipline, structure, consequences. That's why I bought the house. That's why I let the rent notices hit. You needed reality. You needed boundaries. Ryan swallowed. We'll do whatever you say. We just want a chance. I studied him for a long moment. Chance doesn't erase what happened. But it can teach responsibility, obedience, respect. If you follow my rules, you survive. If not, I let the words hang unspoken. Emily reached out, trembling. Jack, we're scared. But we'll do it. Whatever you ask. Please, just guide us. I nodded slowly. Fine. But let me be clear. I don't want apologies. I don't want promises. I want results. Every bill paid on time. Every responsibility accepted. Every word backed by action. Do you understand? Yes, they said together, voices tight with anxiety. I leaned back, feeling the power settle in my chest. This is different from revenge. This is control. This is self-reliance. This is my life reclaimed. Jack, Emily whispered. Do you hate us? I shook my head slowly. No. Hate is useless. I'm disappointed, yes. Angry, yes. Hurt, definitely. But hate would only poison me. You taught me a lesson I didn't want, but I've grown stronger because of it. That's the important part. Ryan exhaled shakily. I never wanted to hurt you like that. I messed up. I know, I said. And now you'll learn from it. Not because I force it on you, but because life does. And I won't interfere unless I must. Emily nodded, tears in her eyes. We understand. We'll try. We'll prove it. I stood up, looking at both of them. Prove it through action, not words. I don't need speeches. I need accountability. You'll live under the rules now. You'll respect boundaries. And slowly, maybe, trust can be rebuilt. But only if you earn it. Ryan's shoulders sagged. Well, thank you, Jack. I know it's not fair to ask. Life's not fair, I said, voice steady. But it's real. And reality is what you failed to respect before. Emily whispered again, almost to herself. I hope one day you can forgive us. I stared at her. Forgiveness isn't a gift I give lightly. It's earned. And that will take time. For now, understand this. You've lost the control you thought you had. I have it now. And I'm not letting it slip. They nodded silently, eyes lowered. I could see the weight of understanding settle on them. The power had shifted. And I felt something I hadn't in months. Strength. Not revenge. Not anger. Just clarity. I whispered to myself as they left the room, I am the master of my life now. The rest is theirs to face. I sat on the porch, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. The air was crisp, quiet, almost peaceful. It felt different. Megan's voice came through my phone speaker. Morning, Jack. Sleep well? Better than I have in months, I admitted. It's calm. I haven't felt this calm in a long time. Good. You deserve it. I think I'm finally moving on, I said, staring at the horizon. Not forgetting, not forgiving blindly, but moving forward. You sound different. Stronger. I chuckled softly. I've had to be. Betrayal, heartbreak, it shapes you. I used to think strength meant holding on to anger. Now I see it's about control over yourself, your choices, your emotions. Megan was quiet for a moment. Sounds like you've grown. I have. Emily and Ryan, they faced their consequences. I watched, yes. Part of me enjoyed it. Part of me felt guilty. But now it doesn't matter. I'm reclaiming my life, my peace. I thought of the house, now empty of chaos. The rent paid, responsibilities faced, lessons learned. I hadn't interfered directly. I let reality teach them. Emily called, soft, cautious. I just wanted to say, thank you. Not for forgiving us, but for teaching us lessons. I see things differently now. I hesitated, then said, good. Learn from it. That's all I ever wanted. Understand the consequences of actions, of trust, of respect. I do. We do, she said quietly. I hope one day, maybe, you can find peace with what happened. I have peace, I said, voice steady. It wasn't easy. It still hurts sometimes. But I'm learning to carry it without letting it control me. Ryan spoke next, voice rougher, more resigned. I screwed up. Badly. I see that now. I just want to say I'm sorry. And I understand whatever boundaries you set. You have every right. Good, I said. Actions will show it. Words won't. They were quiet after that, and I felt a strange mixture of relief and sadness. They had been my world once, my family, my love. And now, they were lessons. Hard lessons. Megan's voice broke the silence. Jack, any plans for today? I think I'll go for a walk. Clear my head. Maybe start something new. New? Yes. Life doesn't stop because betrayal happened. It's time to rebuild. Time to move forward. Not because of revenge, not because of anger, but because of survival. I hung up, slipping the phone into my pocket. I looked around the porch, breathing deeply. The weight of the past months was there, but lighter. Manageable. I heard a knock. A neighbor, Laura, smiled softly. Morning, Jack. You look peaceful. I am, I said. Finally. She nodded. Good. You've handled a lot. I admire that. Thanks, I said, voice quiet. It wasn't easy, but it taught me something important. Power doesn't always come from revenge. Sometimes it comes from letting go and taking control of yourself. Laura smiled and left, leaving me in silence again. I sipped my coffee, thinking of everything. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the plotting, the careful observation of Emily and Ryan's consequences. And I realized the truth. Survival, resilience, emotional strength. Those were victories greater than anything else. Revenge was fleeting. Control over myself was enduring. I glanced at the empty chair beside me, imagining the life that could have been. A pang of sadness, yes, but no longer rage. No longer despair. Just memory tempered with clarity. I whispered softly to myself, I survived. I grew. I reclaimed my life. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves. I smiled faintly. And now, I can build something new. Something mine. Not defined by betrayal, not defined by pain, but by choice, strength, and the lessons I've learned. Megan called again, voice cheerful. Jack, sounds like a new chapter. Exactly, I said. A chapter where I write the rules, where I define the path. Where I'm not a victim, not a pawn, just me. She laughed softly. Good. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said. I think it's time to see what I can do with this life. Time to embrace it fully. No looking back, no regrets. Just moving forward. I set the coffee down, stepping off the porch. The morning sun warmed my face. I felt a lightness I hadn't known in months. Freedom. Control. Strength. I whispered again, just to myself, this is my life. Mine. And I'm finally living it. As I walked down the street, I felt hope. Not naive, not rushed, but steady. The past had shaped me, taught me, tested me. And now, I was ready to build something better. The city hummed around me, alive with possibility. I smiled faintly. It's time to start again. And for the first time, the future didn't feel frightening. It felt mine.